I've just watched Deadpool and Wolverine and wanted to share what it was like to go to the cinema here, not specifically for this movie. It's just that over the course of the last few years with MCU movies in particular, I've realized that how I approach the movie is different to how the natives approach the movie here. And when I'm online, I see viral videos of how MCU movies are received in the United States. I'm like, whoa, okay.
We don't do that here.
Being British, I'm oddly fascinated by this next part, and I'll say up front, I dislike people making the experience about them, treating the cinema as though it's a football stadium. I'm paid to see the actors, not the spectators. I hate all of that hooting and hollering just because some particular famous actor is now appearing on screen. Call me old-fashioned, I like to just watch the movie. I like to watch the movie, and watch the movie I did. The full review is actually in a link somewhere around here and in the description. And it's on my other channel, so if you want to take a peek at it, you need to go there. But you never see videos from Asia go viral like they do in the States. That's because the audiences stay quiet. Quiet. Well, not that quiet, but that's what Asian people used to do. I think the worst aspect in Hong Kong is when someone just checks their phone and you get flashed with bright light. It's been years since old women were having a conversation loudly on their phone while the movie was on. Oh, and when you tell them, they get annoyed. So I'll let that slide. Most of my YouTube audience for both channels is from the West. Much of what I am watching is also from the West, so I'm in a bit of a pop culture bubble. Of course, a different one exists here for the mostly Cantonese-speaking audience, but I always forget by how much. I understand us Westerners can be a mix of normies, tourists and nerds when engaging with the MCU. That's my little disclaimer. I can't interact with that here because of the language barrier. So in Deadpool and Wolverine, I was surprised I was the only one reacting to any of the jokes. I went 2 times, and both audiences didn't laugh at any of the humorous bits, unless on screen there was absolute pain and destruction brought down onto the characters. And these are just spoilers, so Johnny Storm landing on his meat and potatoes because he fell out of the sky, or Wolverine slaughtering 100 Deadpools. These were the moments that got the biggest reactions, probably because they are obvious by their nature of being visual. The dialogue, laden with in-jokes, references, meta-commentary, whatever you want to call it, was either something Hong Kong people couldn't connect with or just wasn't funny for them. I mentioned the visual, but still, even with the cameos, none of them were acknowledged. And going with Rhea, I asked her what she thought. She basically didn't know who Blade was. Shocker, right? And why he's a thing, and I had to explain why he probably had the best joke in the movie. Chris Evans not being Captain America didn't faze her because she never knew there were 2 previous Fantastic Four movies. She just thought he was just Chris Evans playing a character. Yes, he was a character, but she didn't know the historical weight behind that character. That's probably the same then for most of the Hong Kong people going into this movie. They haven't seen earlier movies like Blade or the Fantastic Four. And why would you watch a movie like Blade anyway when Hong Kong cinema during the 90s is full of martial arts movies that are already world famous on their own?
係棉花咁 cheap 嘅啫咩？唔知廁紙得唔得咧？
你靚仔得嚟都幾抵食。
To further back this up, the silences also happened with Infinity War, Endgame, and the last Spider-Man movie. And inside of all of that, you had the Thor entrance into Wakanda, the unification of the different Spider-Men, and the scene where the Avengers assemble. So while I love going to the cinema here, because everyone concentrates on the movie, it does make me think even more about how people not only react physically to the movie by not acting like a group of monkeys, but also which aspects of Western culture have permeated Hong Kong culture. And if I'm going through this sort of enlightenment, having just watched Hong Kong movies. You have to consider that it's even more different in China when it comes to understanding Western imports. Hong Kong gets all the Western movies, China doesn't, because only a certain amount can make it into the Chinese market. So when you watch the Olympics and things play out, and I've seen commentators say, oh, isn't it interesting how we don't understand the Chinese, or the Chinese don't understand us, and you can see this disconnect in what should be a universal attempt at coming together for the Olympics. It's sort of playing out there where you've got these two different sort of cultures blending together. Anyway, that's my food for thought. I just thought it was really provoking. That wasn't the only takeaway from the Deadpool movie, so again, if you want to check out the movie review, my review, not my movie, then click on the links, what have you, and join that channel if you want. This channel is slowly just going to concentrate on things that are related to Hong Kong, and all the pop culture stuff will move on to the second channel. And you can see a little screenshot there. Thanks for watching this far, and you'll see me in another video shortly.